So at the end of one of our sessions, I started talking about how I visualize. And before I became a motivational speaker, I was extremely nervous, dealing with social anxiety, dealing with a level of agoraphobia, afraid to be in the public, afraid to be seen. And so I would sit down, I would imagine myself being a motivational speaker. I'd imagine myself being on stage talking to people. And I got very nervous and I got very scared. Now I heard that it would be good for me to imagine the best version of myself, But when I tried to imagine the best version of myself, I just felt uncomfortable. It didn't feel believable. It felt like I was lying to myself. And now I know I could think the thought long enough so that it becomes familiar. I know that we can do that. But this particular one was hard for me. This particular type of visualization, I wasn't really able, no matter how much I tried, to get myself to believe what I was thinking, what I was visualizing. And so I decided, instead of visualizing the best version of myself, that I would visualize me, the way I was, nervous and scared on stage. And I decided that instead of just being at home, sweating it out, being nervous at home, that I would just be nervous and sweaty on stage. And I started visualizing that. I started visualizing being a nervous, sweaty, trembling motivational speaker because I decided that if I was going to be scared or nervous anyway, I might as well do it on stage. I might as well do it in front of people. And I have enough audacity, enough courage to experience that discomfort and tolerate it. And so I started imagining not the best version of myself, but the version that I could believe. A version that was experiencing the trauma, the discomfort of that experience, but still surviving it, right? And that was the difference. It was still better than what I was. I wasn't just nervous or scared. I was nervous and scared, but still doing it. And that mattered to me. It mattered a lot to me that I would still do it despite the discomfort. And in that visualization, I found a level of peace. I found a level of satisfaction. I found a way that I could survive bombing. I could survive not doing well. I could survive looking like the fool. Because that alternative was way better than not doing it at all. You see, your visualizations don't make something happen. Your visualizations are there to create a level of expectation within you. And so if you're visualizing something and it's so far out of what you can expect that it doesn't resonate with you, well then you are lacking the energy, the power behind that visualization. And so I suggest just visualize an improvement of your situation, something that is slightly better than where you are now. In fact, imagine the height of what you would like, but that you can expect, right? Imagine the height of your desire, the height of your visualization, but something that you can expect. So find that line of expectation, of believability. You can go a little bit beyond it to sort of stretch your ability to expect, but find that line of expectation of where you can be. And then imagine that zone, because when you're imagining that zone of expectation, then you're having a visceral response that makes you feel good, that makes you feel better, that makes you feel expectant and optimistic and believing in your own ability to move forward. And so I'm not the type of person who talks about visualizing something to happen that is always the best version. Okay, I imagine the best versions in terms of fantasy. I imagine the best versions for the fun of it. But when it comes to actually tackling those visualizations, putting myself in an experience that I am going to be walking into, I tend to pick those thoughts and to pick those thought structures, to pick those visions that I believe, that fall within my frame of expectation. And of course, on a regular basis, I'm always looking to expand my level of expectation in any way that I can. There's no sense in making a leap that you don't believe you can make. What you can do is practice other leaps so that you become better at making those jumps. And when you become better at making those jumps, you develop the confidence and the expectation that you can do more. And then that translates to skill and the ability to do just so. Don't worry about visualizing your best self. Just visualize the best that you can expect.